MacVoices is supported by ATTO, the power behind the storage. Visit atto.com to learn more. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we're back on the road to Macstock, and the road is getting shorter and shorter by the day as we all, well, some of us, and I hope it will include you, get ready to travel to Woodstock, Illinois for Macstock weekend, one of my favorite weekends of the year. As you know, we've been trying to talk to the speakers, the presenters, a little bit of everybody, everyone that's associated with Macstock. This time I get to talk to the first volunteer of the year who's doing something that seems strangely familiar. Norbert Frassa, welcome back to MacVoices. It's good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be back, Chuck. I wasn't sure that I was going to be back so soon, but here I am.
Well, yeah, you were the last time you were here. I guess we were wrapping up CES and talking about you volunteering to act as my cameraman and the insanity that followed that for CES. And last year, you were a first-time attendee at Macstock. Is that correct?
That is correct. I was a freshman last year.
You were a freshman. Okay, good. So this year you're returning, not only though as an attendee, but you also stepped up as a volunteer, which I think says a lot about you, but it also says a lot about Macstock.
Yeah. Like I said, last year was my first time, and it was just a great gathering. You immediately make friends. Everyone's there with a common perspective on Apple products, their love of Apple products. It's like attending a conference and everyone is the same supporter of your favorite sports team, or everybody loves cheesecake or something of that nature. It's easy to make friends. So I was called upon by the organizer, Mike Potter. He lost his volunteer to work cameras and heard about the fantastic work that I did, so-called fantastic work, at CES for MacVoices, and sent me a message and asked if I was willing to help him. And I said, sure, I'd be more than glad to help a tech friend in need.
So I've got to have a talk with Mike about poaching my staff. But other than that, we should be clear, though, that you are not a video professional, at least not as far as I know.
No, not at all. That is not my day job. I'm just trying to do the best thing that I can with the camera, but not my day job.
Well, you did such a great job at CES, and when I heard about this, you told me, and I guess about 10 minutes later, I got an email from Mike saying that you had volunteered. And it's like, okay, I don't know that MacVoices has ever launched a second career for anyone, but I'm delighted if this is the first.
Yeah, we were wondering if we have to start paying you some commission there for getting me some gigs, but 10% of zero is still zero, Chuck. So maybe next time.
Okay, we'll have to work on that. Norbert, though, I mean, the tech friend in need is an obvious thing. I mean, that just sort of speaks to the sense of community, but it also means that you will. It will not detract from you watching the presentations. In fact, you might be watching them more intently because you'll be running the cameras. But why take something like that on?
I think because of my love of technology, I want to be part. We're all part of the same community, the same Apple Mac community, and I just want to make sure that. The digital pass for Mike is very important. That's the reason that he's recording all of the sessions out there. And this is my small way of trying to help the community get bigger. So Macstock 6 next year will be even bigger than this year, and we can continue to grow it. Right now, it's just very small, cozy conference because you can make friends with everyone there. It's not one of these huge conferences where there's 500 people. This is just my small way of trying to make it better and make it bigger for next year.
Again, I think it's interesting that you're one of those. The bug got you too. That you go as an attendee, but you end up wanting to be in some small way a part of it. You want to contribute to it. And I think that says so much about Macstock and what Mike and Barry have put together. But it also says something about the community because Al Newman was on the road to Macstock a little while ago. She's been an attendee, I think, 2 years, and now she decided she was going to volunteer to do a couple yoga for nerds session at Macstock. So that's what happens. People get there, they see friends, they make friends, and they want to give back a little bit and contribute. And I think that's really interesting. That's why I was kind of anxious to talk to you about it, because now you fall in that category with the rest of us.
Yeah, and I still have a little bit more work to do. I'm working on a small video for the Macstock uh, movie um, movie show. I'm still kind of working on the editing right now, so I should have something else in line for Macstock as well. Um, so, like you said, it's easy to become. It was just as I walked into the auditorium, I wasn't sure what to expect the first time. But you just walk up to someone and you say hi, or someone walks up to you and you say hi, and you start talking about your products. And hey, did you know this or did you know that? If there is anything wrong with Macstock, if there is one negative, is that all of the sessions were fantastic last year. That you really don't want to miss any session. That you're going from session to session to session. And I know in my profession and in your profession as well, we've attended conferences where you attend a session and you just want to get out. Not in this case. You wanted to attend every session. That it leaves, you get some breaks in between them, but I wish I had even more time to just mingle with everybody and to get to meet more people.
Yeah, you're right, and it's damning with faint praise in some ways that um, we we want to attend every session. Of course, with some of the deep dives, there are opposing sessions, and you want to go to both of them. And this is where you come in, because that's why the digital ticket has become so important. That I go to session A, I know that I'll be able to at least go and watch session B on video at a later date. So I really don't end up missing anything.
Exactly, and sometimes you might have missed something because someone next to you made a comment. I sat next to Allison, so she was making comments all the time, uh, and you just go back, and at your leisure, you can go back and listen to whatever was happening in conference room B. And you might want to take some notes or pay a little bit more closer attention to the topic. And Digital Pass is fantastic, and I know I'll be taking advantage of it this year because I'm really looking forward to the speakers coming up this year as well.
Yeah, and I've taken advantage of it as well from past years. I mean, sometimes it's just great to have those sessions that even the ones you sat through, as a reference point. It's like, okay, what did they say about that? Or, gee, I remember there was something about that I wanted to study, and it wasn't in my notes, or I didn't put it in my notes, and so you can go back and enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah, and I think Mike, excuse me, I think Mike is offering this as a separate package as well as something for Macstock attendees. So, folks, check the Macstock website. If you're coming, obviously you want to make sure you check it. But if you're not able to come, check out the digital pass, and you're almost there. You won't have quite as much fun, but you'll have all of the information.
Yeah, definitely. And if we're about 2 weeks out from Macstock this year, but if there's any if you're listening to this and you have any possibility of joining us down there in Woodstock, Illinois, at the McHenry Conference Center, join us. You won't regret it.
This edition of MacVoices is supported by ATTO Technology, the power behind the storage. ATTO Technology is celebrating over 30 years in the Mac industry, providing connectivity choices of all flavors for all kinds of storage for all kinds of industries. Some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry rely on ATTO solutions. Names like ABC, CNN, Disney, Pixar, and Skywalker Sound. But they aren't alone. AT&T, FedEx, Lockheed Martin, and Starbucks also use ATTO products to do what they do. And that's why you should select ATTO products to do what you do. ATTO has solutions no matter what Mac you use. From the portability of the MacBook Air to the heavy firepower of the Mac Pro, ATTO is there with low latency, highly optimized Thunderbolt and PCIe options. Visit ATTO at atto.com right now and find out how their solutions can be the answer to your problems. That's ATTO.com, atto.com. And a big thanks to ATTO for supporting MacVoices.
I was looking at my numbers, and this is just haphazardly from last year, and I'm not saying that this is because of Macstock. There are other factors involved. But my most productive months last year were actually August, September, and October. And part of I'm not saying that this was the reason, but it might have been a big, huge influencer is from learning from Dr. Bob Levitas, his Pomodoro technique. And I still use that today. It was fantastic. It's something that you take with you.
I don't think I'm overstating the case, at least for me. I feel like I take at least one or two good ideas away from every single session. Even the ones that I didn't think were going to apply to me, I always find something. It might not even be a technical thing or a tip. It just may be pure motivation. But I agree with you. And sometimes that's all you need. As crazy as this sounds, to go to a 2-day conference, travel to a 2-day conference. If you come away with 3 good ideas, it more than pays for it.
Definitely. At least that was my experience in my first year. It paid for itself, not only in monetarily with my business, but also with the friendships that I was able to make with the people that I was able to sit down and have lunch with and have a chat. People that I still talk to today on Twitter or social media or Slack it's a community that we have, and it's fantastic. That's worthwhile. It's the price of the ticket right there.
Yeah, and it's something I learned long ago in conferences that, you make a list of those people you meet, you gather up business cards or whatever method of keeping track of it, then you go home and you connect with them on Facebook or Twitter or wherever, and that enhances the community, and you then start to see the lives of these people and they see yours. So the next time you meet up, whether it's at Macstock or wherever, you feel like you know them better, and then it's just all one big happy family.
Oh, definitely. And sometimes it works the opposite way, where you see people on the Facebook group, or you see them on Twitter or social media, and then you get to put a face with the name. That makes it a lot better. You have an instant conversation right there. Great way to start. Great icebreaker right there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm anxious to see. I know a little bit about Mike's video recording setup. It's quite a bit different than mine for obvious reasons. I mean, he's recording a conference, multiple rooms, and all, and everything is pretty much set. Whereas what we did at CES, we were completely mobile. So I'll be anxious to get your take on which you like best, and what you think works best, and maybe you have some ideas for improving one or the other or both.
Yeah, he's already given me the lowdown of his setup, so I'm busily studying what I need to make sure I'm ready to go. So that way, I have a 15-minute orientation, and trial by fire, get to go.
Yeah, sometimes those are the best. Those are the most fun.
Exactly.
Tries. Yeah. So, folks, if you are coming to Macstock, you want to find Norbert and say hello and thank him for running the cameras, and get to know him because he's a really great guy, and get to know everybody at Macstock, whether they're the attendees, the organizers, or the speakers. Everybody is very easily accessible and would enjoy meeting you. At this point, I want to make sure we remind folks, Macstock2019.com is where you go. And if you use my speaker code, which is MacVoices, you will save $70 off the 2-day ticket. And that includes everything, the Friday night party, Saturday, Sunday, everything. So again, Macstock 2019 with the code MacVoices. Please come and join us. We're going to have a great time. Norbert, I will see you just in a few weeks in Woodstock.
Sounds great, Chuck. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. Again, we hope to see you in Woodstock, Illinois. We're going to be there, and we want you there with us. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.